Hi, great to see you.
We're not on yet.
Oh, we're not on.
Oh, maybe we are now.
I think we're on.
Hi. You know, what did you say? Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wine Wednesday. It's showing me on my screen that it's not live.
Mobile popped over this wireless battery bank for an unboxed.
Okay, so it's showing me on my screen that we're not live, but we actually are.
It's dangerous.
See, that's not right. There's some sort of like disconnect between the Zoom and the YouTube and how it all gets sent out, I think, the notifications. So
you know what I think will help?
Wine.
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm so ready for this class.
Me too. Okay. Hi guys. It is so good to see you all here on this Wine Wednesday. Hello to everybody. You guys know Vanessa Conlin joining us once again. So many hellos going out to you. You know what? I haven't taken off my it's a twist.
It's a twist. Yes. Yes.
So I love that. So many hellos coming to you right now, by the way.
Hello. Hi back.
Yeah. So today, I just opened this. Did you pour it already? You poured it already.
I poured it while you were introducing me because I couldn't wait. Yes, I have it.
Smart. Okay. I will pour this. So today, as the title of this video says, we are talking about some rosé winemaking, and we will get to the Pinot as well. But obviously, we're starting with this.
The Korean. Yes.
Ooh.
Perfect day for this. Cheers. Great to see you. It's it's a little toasty here in Napa Valley today.
And toasty in LA. So.
Ooh, that smells good.
Whoa.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I just had to get a sip in first before I before I launch in, because I'm very excited about, I'm usually excited about talking with you and talking about wine, but I think today I wanted to talk a little bit about actually how you can make rosé, how that happens, and it's, I think, a really fun topic. So
let's hear about rosé making, as Tiffany here is pouring her own Trien as well.
Beautiful. And this is from Provence, so famous winemaking region for rosé in the south of France. And it's all Grenache. So come back to that. But yeah. I guess actually that's a good place to start, right? Which is like, how is rosé made? What is it made from? So the short answer is it's made from red grapes.
Mm-hmm.
But made in a way where we're not extracting a lot of tannin, but getting a little bit of color and flavors from the skins. So basically there are kind of three ways that you can achieve this. So one, which is how this was made, which is just a short amount of time of skin contact with the juice and the skins. So I think we talked one day about like if you have a red grape, even just a table grape, not a wine grape, and you bite it in half.
Yep.
Even with the red skin, the flesh is pale.
Yes.
So, and then red wine, gets its color from actually having, the juice that comes from the pulp in contact with the skins. So you're going to be, extracting color and that tannin that we've talked about, which is that sort of, that tactile feeling you have in red wines where your mouth can feel kind of dry.
Mm-hmm.
But if you only keep it in contact for a short amount of time, you can get actually a wine that is pink. So I would actually call this almost like a salmon color.
This is you know what? Yes, this color, stunning kind of color here too. It is.
Yeah. So that can last, so that, that time, when I say a short amount of time, could be anywhere literally from a couple of minutes to maybe, a couple of days. And what's going to happen is the longer the time that the skin is in contact with the juice, the darker the color the rosé will be. So some rosés you might see like this, I'd say was, very pale, but you'll see some rosés even that are almost more magenta in color, like much more deeply pigmented.
Yeah.
So, have spent longer time in contact with the juice. Hence the way a lot of rosé is made like this one. Is this making sense so far?
Yeah. Someone is saying rose gold, this color.
Rose gold. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Beautiful. It does have kind of like a sugary gold color.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it tastes good too. I have one thing that's like super present on my palate. I don't know if it's what you're thinking too.
I don't, you want to say it at the same time?
I was going to say, do you want to say it at the same time?
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Strawberry.
Grapefruit. Okay, well.
That worked out great. We do that all the time.
I was ready to be like, yeah. No.
But isn't it like just beautiful, kind of like fresh picked strawberry? This is going to sound weird, but like it's like a fresh picked strawberry, like with the leaves still on it. And you can almost taste that like sweet growing, garden smell along with the actual like fruit sweetness at the same time.
Okay. I mean, like when you say it like that, yeah. Okay, sure. That's what I really was going to say.
Right.
That's actually crazy. Okay.
But anyway, I think it's like, I'm getting that like strawberry, kind of raspberry, like beautiful floral, kind of like a lavendery note to it.
When I smell it, I get that for sure. When I taste it, I'm getting more like of grapefruit for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Oh, totally. I think there's like for sure a citrus note there, almost like a tangerine peel.
Okay. Maybe that's what I'm.
Tangerine, clementine, or maybe a pink grapefruit. I'm picturing like, cause it's not, to me, doesn't have the tartness.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. No.
Like, okay. So Tiffany is actually having this right now. My mom is having this exact one as well.
Oh, hi Mom. That's awesome.
Hi Mom. Which is great.
That's great.
So we actually have two viewers that are having this exact one, the Trienne, and that's really cool.
So refreshing.
Tiffany said she's getting strawberry and floral.
Definitely. Yeah, totally agree. And something that we haven't mentioned yet, which we probably should, is that this wine is dry, right? This is a bone dry wine, and I think that's a myth I kind of want to dispel about rosé, which is that, back in sort of the 80s, the style white Zinfandel became very popular, which is a sweet rosé wine, a sweet pink wine with usually like a little bit of lower alcohol, but the majority of rosés are actually bone dry like this one.
Yeah.
So I'd say, if you're shopping in the store and you see a white Zinfandel, you can be pretty sure that it's going to have some sweetness to it, some residual sugar, but wine like this,
no,
fermented completely dry.
I love this.
I love it too. So, there's a second way to make rosé, and it's called sany, which means to bleed. And so it's very literal in that, we were talking before, how red wines are made, they're in contact with the skin. But let's say I'm a winemaker and I have a tank of grapes, red grapes, and I'm going to make a red wine out of that. But if I bleed off, that's why it's called sany, if I bleed off some of that juice very early and then ferment that as a rosé, I can still have my red wine, which is in contact with the skins, and my rosé, which I removed from the skins, very early on. So you can actually make two different types of wine from the same tank of red grapes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. You know, and what is kind of a fun fact about it is then what happens with your red wine that you're making is it's actually going to be sort of more concentrated because you have bled off some of the juice to make your rosé. So it's actually going to even sort of make that, you know, like fuller and richer and more concentrated, the red wine.
That's really cool.
Another fun fact. So there's actually, aside from just having the desire to make a rosé and a red wine, you know, and we just said like you can actually sort of make your red wine more concentrated. You can sort of change the outcome of the red wine by making a sany rosé from that tank. There's actually a very practical reason to do that as a winemaker, and that would be that, you know, red wines almost always are aged, which means the winery takes that expense on of holding the wine back, aging it, maturing it. It doesn't mean you can't still age it further once you buy it if it's that type of wine, but they're going to hold on to it. So basically all that money that they've spent for the whole, you know, season, the whole year of growing the grapes, tending them, you know, harvesting them, fermenting them, and then aging it, they're on the hook for all that money. They're not making any money yet until they release that particular vintage of that red wine. Whenever they do, you know, 2 years later, let's say, because that's pretty average. But if you make a rosé, you generally sell it fairly quickly because rosés in general, not always, but in general, aren't really aged before they're released for very long. So let's say like this is a 2019. So this was just harvested, you know, last fall, and we're drinking it now.
I don't think I've ever had anything from 2019.
Yeah.
So that's how new this is. Yeah.
So as a winery, I can actually make some money selling my rosé, which you can drink now, and then I'm holding on to my red wine. So it's kind of, as much as it's a style thing, it's also a cash flow.
This is so interesting. Now I know when I make the Mr. Cheesy Pop vineyards, we have to make rosé first.
Yes. Okay. I mean, my opinion, you should anyway.
Okay, so great. This is very good to know.
So now there's actually a third way.
Okay.
This is where things get like kind of interesting, or more interesting, at least to me. So you could actually blend white wine and red wine together. However, there's only one place in all of Europe. We talked about wine laws last week, right? So there are laws about what you can do. There's actually only one place in all of the EU where you're allowed to do that, where you're allowed to blend white wine and red wine. Otherwise, you have to make it one of those other two ways that I mentioned.
Where in Europe can you blend red and white? Oh my goodness. Does anyone have a guess in the chat? Where in Europe can you blend red and white? And it's legal. And it's legal in the EU, yes. Yeah, so that's what we're looking for. Okay, let's see. I will just Is it a country that is known for its wine making?
Yes.
Okay, so that can help a little bit here. Let's see. We've got an Italy guess, Germany, Alsace region of France, France.
Getting warmer. You're getting warmer.
Spain.
Getting colder.
Colder with Spain. So get back onto, okay. So we have not hit it yet. Everyone's guessing. There's so many France guesses here, which is pretty.
I mean, I'm going to say they're on the right track. So we're just looking for the region.
The region, not the country?
Not the country. One, I should say one region within a country. That's my bad. Should have been more specific. That's on me.
So it is, so did we say the country already? France?
It is in France.
It's in France.
So where might that be?
It's in France, guys. Basque.
You just tell me when you want me to I've got all the patience in the world. We can keep guessing. It's fine.
I love this guess. Tatooine. It's not, yeah, no. Medi Provence.
It's not Provence.
Bordeaux?
It's not Bordeaux.
All right, you got to tell us.
Champagne.
Wow, champagne.
Yeah.
How did they get the exemption?
What did they do to be so special other than make amazing wine? Yeah. So anyway, that's my my fun fact for the day.
Go to Champagne.
Yes. So the majority, when you see rosé champagne, more often than not, it's white and red blended together. They could make us. There are wineries in Champagne that make like a sany champagne. It's done, but more often than not, they're actually blended.
So rosé champagne, they are. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Why didn't we guess that, guys?
Well, I didn't tee it up very well. It's on me, but anyway, now you know. So there you go. So
there you go.
What I love about rosé, or I should say, one of the things that I love about rosé is that it's really food friendly. So especially in the summertime, where you might be having like foods of sort of different temperatures on the table, like maybe you've got a salad, but then you have something from the grill and different flavors. It's really, really versatile with all of those things. So it's kind of one of those wines that you can often pair through the whole meal.
I actually was talking to my mom about this because she was like, I'm having what'd you have tonight, Mom? I think they had skirt steak or something, and I was like, I think it'll be all right, actually.
Yeah.
And it is. This is something you can actually have with.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about that now. I think it would be really delicious.
Yeah, it's because it's not sweet, so
Yeah. And I think also though, like people, I think sometimes don't really start thinking about rosé until the weather gets warm, and you think about it as a summer wine, but really, I mean, it's really fun and to drink all year round. I mean, one time in particular that I think of where I almost always serve a rosé is actually at Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Because Thanksgiving is actually, traditional Thanksgiving is actually a very difficult meal to pair with wines because you have so many different flavors on the table. You might have, super savory, salty, rich and cheesy. You might have poultry. You might, you might have sweet potatoes, with marshmallows. There corn. Like there's just Brussels sprout. It's got so many different types of flavors that like one thing that can really pair throughout is rosé.
Rosé for Thanksgiving this year, guys. Okay.
You heard it here.
I mean, that's what I expect on all your Thanksgiving Day tables this year.
And also, you don't need to pair it is the fun thing too. I mean, this is really delicious. It's like goes down kind of easy.
Yeah,
especially on a warm day like today. I might have to just. That is such a pretty color.
It is, right? I mean, like
beautiful.
What temperature do you recommend storing this at? Is the refrigerator just fine for rosé?
If you're not going to store it to age it to try to like cellar and mature a wine, the fridge is fine. I'm going to say if you have a bottle that you're going to hold on to because it's a special bottle, like the fridge isn't great. It's not humid enough in the fridge. You want it particularly like, we talked about the cork can dry out in wines. Refrigerators also they vibrate. So believe it or not, vibrations can actually affect the way that wine tastes and matures. Right. So there's that. And there's also, the light when you turn it on. So you kind of want to, keep, and then just think about how many times you open and close it and open and close it and open and close, so you're changing the temperature a lot. So that being said, that was all if I have a wine that I'm trying to sort of to cellar and try to, wait for it to get better. A wine like this, honestly, it's not going to last more than a day in my fridge anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. Like, this is a wine that you get to drink pretty quickly.
Right.
And it's and also the price point of this is like super good.
Yeah, like 20 bucks.
This is $17.
$17.
That's kind of amazing.
Kind of a bargain. And you know what's actually especially amazing about this is as this particular domain. So again, it's called the Domaine de Trienne. It's on Wine Access. It's actually owned by some pretty darn famous people who have estates in Burgundy. So it actually has this like amazing pedigree of people behind it. So, you know, especially considering that, and you think about like Burgundy prices are you know, generally on the higher side. So the fact that, you know, this is not from Burgundy, it's from Provence, but still like knowing that it has these wine masterminds behind it that can make super expensive wine in Burgundy, you know, it's kind of a steal.
This is insane. I will put, let me put the link in, guys, for you so you can check it out on Wine Access right there. I just put it in the chat.
Perfect.
There it is. Yeah. So this is a steal. I'm kind of amazed by this price.
I'm pretty excited that I have it open because I definitely needed a glass of wine, and it's pretty delicious.
Yeah. So Tiffany, you really like it, affordable and really good. Yeah, see, it's I know my mom is really enjoying this right now too.
So I have another wine.
Oh baby, here we go.
Open.
I have it open too.
It's almost like we knew this was gonna happen.
How do we know?
So this is a Pinot Noir. So I'm going to pour myself a little splash. So we've talked a little about, I think, Pinot Noir before, but not this particular one. So the name of the winery, the name of the winery is called Boxen. The variety is Pinot Noir. It's from a very, very famous vineyard. So Bien Nacido Vineyard is, right, so it's a single vineyard. Block 43, when we use the word block in wine speak, it means it's from a specific part of the vineyard. So even within this vineyard, you know, they'll sort of, it's not, they probably could think of, you know, they could think of fun names for the blocks like Disney characters.
Okay.
But they don't usually. It's usually like block 1, block 2, block 3, but that's because even within the same vineyard, there can be differences in the soils, you know, the exposure to the sun, the drainage. There's, you know, some vineyards are completely flat, some are hilly. And so you can't treat in many cases, not all, but in many cases, winemakers approach a vineyard not as one entity, but as sort of smaller little micro entities. And consider them all differently. So block 43 is the block that this is from. And so this is from Santa Barbara County. And then the AVA, we talked, I think, last week about laws, or the American Viticultural Area within Santa Barbara County is Santa Maria Valley. So that was a lot of info all at once, but that's what this wine is. 100% Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir. I've been to that area. That's much closer to me than Napa. Obviously.
That's right. That's right. So I think outstanding region for Pinot Noir. They also, you know, make beautiful Chardonnays and Syrahs, and you know, you'll even find further inland, you know, where it's a little warmer, some, you know, Cabernet Sauvignon and other Bordeaux varieties. But what I think makes, you know, for really beautiful wines from this region is, you know, Pinot Noir is a variety that enjoys a little bit of a cooler climate. So if we think about things like, you know, Cabernet Sauvignon versus Pinot Noir, and let's say, just to use my backyard as an example, I'm sitting here in Napa, and Napa Valley is really known for Cabernet. And that's because we're a little further inland. It's a little warmer than, say, our neighboring county of Sonoma, which is closer to the ocean. It gets that cooling influence, which is known more for Pinot Noir. So this is another area which is, you know, in pretty close proximity to the ocean. And I have to say, it gets the most crazy breezes through this region also, which really brings us like cooling influence. But I have somewhere, I should have brought it for show and tell, but I visited a friend of mine down there who makes wine. And I tried my best to get a good picture of us in the vineyard. And I just couldn't, because my hair like was just everywhere. But it's really like that. I had no idea until I really stood there in those vineyards how really windy it is. And so why does that matter? Because it brings that cooling influence. But the other thing that's kind of interesting about those breezes is, obviously this wine is, it's not super light in color. It's not super dark in color, but I've seen a lot of Pinot Noirs that are lighter in color, right?
This looks way darker than a Pinot Noir usually looks.
Yes. And that was, when I was sitting for the Master of Wine exam and I had to do blind tastings and try to just figure out what a wine, where it was from, I would often use color if I thought it was from Santa Barbara County, specifically these more coastal regions, because what happens with that wind is that vines are so cool, by the way. Like, I'm like such a fangirl for vines. They're amazing.
I've never heard anyone say that. That's amazing.
But they're smart. They're like super smart. And so these vines, that when they're growing these clusters, they'll actually kind of protect themselves by forming more tannin in the skin. So it's almost like sunscreen in a way. If you think about that, like you're forming this barrier between the sun and you, and it's almost the same with these grape varieties. Kind of, keeps them shields them a bit from the sun, but also from this like crazy wind that blows through. That's pretty good. Pretty excited. Yeah.
Fruit is just, I mean.
So I get, there's a lot of like just fresh berry fruit, but it's like a mix of what I would call like red fruits and black fruits.
It's dark fruit jammy jam.
Like you're exactly right. Cause there is this sort of like blackberry note to it, but it's almost like you said, a blackberry, like a compote or like a macerated blackberry. It's like, it's not a fresh picked. It's like you smashed it a little bit or something, but it smells pretty darn good, I have to say.
Oh, this is, yeah.
Wow. Well, it should, because this is really one of that vineyard I mentioned, the Bienecido. Two reasons. I mean, the vineyard is amazing. Like, there's a reason why vineyards get famous, right? Like, vineyards kind of can be their own star in the wine world. And this is one of them. This vineyard is just known.
I need a moment.
I'll take one too.
Yeah, like.
Yeah. It's really good, huh? And very like lively though too. Like, you get that kind of dark fruit, but then there's this kind of like juicy acidity on the palate. So like, it's still really like, my mouth is watering. It makes me want to pair things with it. Yeah. And then Foxen, this producer, they're just really consistent. They've been there forever. It's kind of like a no frills place if you go visit, but they just make really great wine.
I gotta say, this is probably the best Pinot I've ever tasted.
Wow.
I cannot recall a better one.
I'm kind of loving it too. Yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah, are you finding something else in it? You look like you
Well, it's just so like for a Pinot, like this is such a full body Pinot. Like it's just and now, but I'm also tasting like oh gosh, I'm trying to put my finger on it. This is what we're trying to learn on this. There's something like how you said you could describe wine like in just weird ways sometimes, like when you describe things as earthy or
right.
That's what I'm getting here. There's like there's
a savoriness to it. I agree. not to overuse my sort of garden analogy, because I said this about the strawberry with the stem with the rosé, but this almost reminds me of that, like when you walk through like your garden and you can smell all those different like fruits, but also vegetables growing at the same time. So you kind of get this really intriguing mix of both. It's fascinating wine. And I think, well, you said one thing I wanted to follow up on, which is for a Pinot, like it has some body. So I think for, anyone who always, maybe they think Pinot Noir is always super light, this actually like has some heft to it, right? In a good way, not like it's over the top. It's still very graceful, but it's really got some backbone.
Yeah. Like, sometimes you're like, Pinot, I could, it's like, water, but like not this Pinot. This is like real deal Pinot. I'm blown away.
I'm with you. And something I wanted to comment on too is, when assessing, at least putting my wine professional, hat firmly on, like when I'm assessing a wine for quality, something that I always pay attention to is what we call the finish. So the finish is, how long after I sip this wine am I still experiencing it on my palate, and I have to say, like, my last sip was a minute ago for sure. I mean, and I still am enjoying it. And I'd say, like, the thing about when we talk about finish on a wine, it's really the completeness of the wine still lingering. So let's say if I had a wine and like one piece of it just was like jutting out, on like after I sip it, I'm like, just this, then I would actually not call that a wine with a long finish. That's just kind of almost a detracting quality. But this, it's like all of those harmonious flavors are like not only lingering, but they're like getting different as I sit here.
It's wild. My mouth, like it is just, my mouth keeps watering too.
Yes, because that's the thing. It's that cooling, that cooling influence. So you kind of get both. You get that more sort of tannin, right? Like we talked about in the vineyard, but then you still get, Pinot Noir is a variety that is known for having like a brisk, fresh acidity, in general. So yeah, I think it's pretty stellar.
It's really, this is pretty special. I gotta go. I'm just looking at the comments here. So okay. So Tiffany, who is drinking this with us right here, said, "Oh my goodness, that sip was everything. It's so good. I think I need another."
Yes. Yeah. I've had like 3, so I'm with you. But so I actually, I brought some show and tell. I know. I promised I would. I think last week I promised I would bring some show and tell.
Well, with Vanessa, this is great. All right.
Okay.
What have we got? I'm just gonna sit back.
I'm gonna show it to you. Maybe you can guess. No, I won't make you guess. I'm kidding.
We already failed at the guessing game.
Okay. But it relates to the Pinot Noir that we're drinking. Okay, so here we go. So I don't know if you can see this rock.
I see that rock.
It's pretty big, right? It's pretty substantial. But then I want to show you something about it. Oh, it's light. It's super light. It's like light as a feather.
Whoa.
So this is, this just proves, if you had any doubts what a dork I am, this is solid physical evidence of that. So this is actually a rock
I know.
from this region, from the vineyards. So it's called diatomaceous earth.
Sure.
And it's basically, it's an ancient soil that is very similar to chalky soils. And it's made from, like fossilized sea creatures, basically. But this is a soil that you'll find, you'll walk through the vineyards and they're just literally like huge chunks like this.
In the vineyards.
In the vineyards. And what's so cool about it is it's not exactly chalk, it's chalk-like, but you can actually use it as chalk.
You drawn with that? Have you?
I have not personally, but for instance, in a winery, if you can bear with me for 1 minute, if you picture like walking through, the winery with all the barrels stacked, and sometimes they need to, the winemaker needs to keep track of what's in what barrel, because for instance, like the block 43 is in this barrel, but a block from a different part of the vineyard is in that barrel. So actually at the wineries down there, a lot of them will just write on the barrels as if this was chalk.
They're writing with the fossilized sea creatures of
diatomaceous earth.
Ancient times, wow.
Anyway,
I love that. And so like, now does this wine, so this wine tastes the way it does and it grows the way it does, the grapes grow the way it does because of that?
Well, it's definitely an influence. So the soils that grapes grow in can influence a lot of things about sort of the way that the vine grows. There's something called vigor with the vine. I told you I'm a fangirl for vines, right? I love talking about this stuff. But so basically, that's just one thing that it can affect. Drainage is another thing in the vineyard. So some varieties in particular, they need more drainage. Drainage can increase, can help the roots dig deep. So generally, like strong vines, healthy vines that are very resilient, have a deep root system. And soils like this, to get back to your question, are sort of this perfect balance. Again, it's the same with chalky soils. In a lot of regions, wine growing regions have chalky soils. It's the perfect balance between a soil that can retain sort of enough water, but not too much. So it has a sort of like perfect balance of drainage. And just to go back for one sec to that, because I think it's interesting, at least I do, you can tell me what your viewers think, but when we talk about vigor of a vine, so certain soils can promote more sort of foliage growth, the leaves actually of the vines. And so it's very vigorous. It's like a vine that wants to go crazy and like really grow a lot. But the thing about grapevines is you want them to really focus on the cluster and not the canopy. We call that the canopy, the leaf formation, right? So, and that's why, for instance, like, irrigation in some regions, like it's legal here, it's not legal in some regions in the EU, but generally why, like even where irrigation is legal, you don't really see people, you're not just going to turn the hose on every day and water these vines, right? You don't want them to have too much water, because if they become too vigorous, let's say, they're going to focus their energy on the leaf growth, right? If they're like, oh, I don't have quite enough, I'm going to hold that back. And I'm going to focus my energy on the clusters, because the clusters are actually how they reproduce, because they have the seeds. So it's like survival mode for them.
Wow. Vanessa, always with the knowledge. It's like, what? Oh, hey, AS. What? Happy 143 day to all. You too, AS. Thank you. I'm just trying to see if I'm going to scroll back in the chat.
Yeah.
So, pairing wine with which wine? Sorry, my voice is going again. Great. This happened yesterday. My voice went yesterday too.
Well, there's a lot of things blooming right now, so I'm pretty good today. But I've had like such a crazy allergy season this year. So
weird. Is there a cheese that would go with this one? Or I guess the rosé too, yeah.
I love that question, because I actually really like to pair things like rosé and white wine with cheeses. I mean, red wines work well also, but I think often people think of red wine and cheese, but actually white wine can pair really nicely. So I'd say like with the rosé, I almost want like a goat cheese.
Oh man, that would be perfect.
Doesn't that sound good? Like a nice chev, yeah. That's my first thought on that.
A goat cheese with this would be, yeah.
And with this one, I might have something. I think you could also pair like a goat cheese with this one, but I almost want it like a Gouda. Like it has, a little something with like a little bit more, body texture.
Yeah.
this has like a real sort of like, I mean this in a good way, like a crunchy, interesting texture on the palate. And so I just think something with a little bit more sort of like chew to it with the cheese. But
got it. Okay.
I mean, I love cheese. I would find a way to work a pairing with any cheese.
Okay, that's really, look at what, Maddie, what do you say? Phyllo wrapped goat cheese with rosemary baked and drizzled with honey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Or like rolled, like could like roll it in herbs or like fennel. Oh, that actually sounds delicious. Like fennel, like, okay, sorry.
Where do we get that? I don't know. Where can I get that? I mean, we have a lot of great restaurants that are open in LA, you know, for
Yeah.
stuff. So it's and delivery, so that's good. But there's so many good restaurants in where you live in Napa. Oh.
Yeah, you're right. You know, we're very lucky. We have a lot of people who love food and wine.
Yeah, it's true, because if you ever go up there, you're going to have the best. You're gonna have the best wine you've ever tasted, and also the best food.
Yeah,
like
we're pretty lucky, and everything grows here too. So
right.
Yeah.
It's yeah. Wait, Zara, did you want to know which fox and Pinot are we drinking?
It's the block. Good question. It's block 43 Viennacido Vineyard, and it's the 2016 vintage. But good question, because they do make a couple of different cuvées, different Pinot Noirs.
Okay, but block.
So they make more than one Pinot at Fox, and so that was a good question.
Got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Zara, there you go, block 43. And it's the one I can send you a link to it also, but I also got to show you this. I have to show you this.
Are you doing show and tell now?
Time for me to do show and tell.
Okay.
Look at this. So I got this picture sent to me by Tiffany, who is okay, hold on. Let me try to, there we go. Okay. So
oh yeah, you can see that.
The charcuterie with the
wow.
there's Trien and there's the Foxen wine.
Oh, that looks good. That looks like maybe there's a brie on there, I think. Something like that. I think actually that would go well with both of these wines.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good. So
that's some artistry right there.
I know, right? I was like, that is, that's a beautiful.
Yeah, that's way better than I could do. So I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
Well, yeah, it's really good, right? You know, I want to, does anyone have, oh, you know what I want to do?
Oh, what?
We're going to do, oh, I see. Gosh, there's a question here. Okay, wait. Tiffany just told us it's mushroom brie and double Gloucester with onion and chive.
Oh, double Gloucester. That's kind of like is that a cheddar? Is that a cheddar Gloucester? It's like or cheddar and blue cheese together, right? Something like that. I think Pinot Noir with that. Stunning.
Yeah, I'll see what she says here, but
I think that's right.
Yeah,
you can kind of picture it. But oh, that mushroom brie, that sounds really good.
That's really good. Why do people continue to age wine in their own home, even though some have already been aged at the wineries before they're sold? Oh man, that's a big question.
Great question. That's a great question.
Okay, wow.
Okay. So I guess to start, I will say that how long you age a wine on your own really depends on your palate and what you like. So for instance, I'm sitting here in Napa Valley. We make lots of Cabernet Sauvignon. I know plenty of people who like to drink very young Cabernet Sauvignon. So let's say when the winery, releases it. So like current release for a lot of wineries right now is 2017. Mm-hmm. Some people are just getting their 2017s and they're drinking them young. But for some people, their palates, their just personal preference is they like a wine that has more sort of savory notes to it, because as a wine ages, it tends to sort of, the fruit starts to diminish and these sort of savory, earthy notes start to emerge. And where you want that to happen is up to you, is up to your own palate. So for me, you know, if I'm drinking, let's just use that example of a Cabernet Sauvignon, I like it to have some age on it. So for me, I'm gonna, if it's a, you know, a nice bottle, a bottle that I know is well made, you know, from a winery, I know makes quality wines. I'm gonna put it in my cellar, and I'm probably not gonna touch it for a couple years. But you don't have to. So the answer, like most things with wine, is it depends. But in this case, you know, there are wines that if you like that taste in a wine, you would say they got better, because they start to have these flavors that you emerge. So my caveat being, if you don't like those flavors, maybe you like a wine that is very fruit forward, then you wouldn't age it as long.
Okay. So
that's a great question.
Depends on you, basically.
Ultimately, it depends on you, because there's no real right or wrong way. It's really what you prefer. So I've definitely, I used to have I worked for a winery here for many years. And the owner of that winery, he literally never opened a bottle that he didn't say, too young. You know, and for me, sometimes he would open them and we'd taste them. He had this beautiful collection of wines. And I was like, wow, that is like, for my taste, that's been aged too long. Like I wish we had opened this a couple years ago.
So it's just personal preference.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's really cool, because, you know, you guys now know, like, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just your own personal.
Yeah. And so part of that might be a little bit of experimentation, you know, in terms of like, you know, look at the vintage, you know, of a wine, because you might even be able to buy wine, you know, from a retailer like Wine Access, where we're offering what we call library vintages from a winery, meaning they've held it even longer there. So you can try like an older wine and see if you like that.
Yeah.
If you don't, you know, look for a vintage that's, you know, more recent. So even though 2016, you know, that is a couple years ago, but for a wine that's actually, for a red wine, a well-made red wine, that's actually on the, you know, more youthful side.
That's young. That's definitely young, as opposed to this, where we're drinking a wine that was made last year. So.
Yeah, and they're not, you know, in this style of wine, they're not intending it to have to age. You know, a beautiful fresh rosé, you should be able to open the most recent vintage and it should be ready to go. There are some, like, you know, there are some exceptions. Again, like everything with wine, it depends. So some wineries are making rosés that they intend to age, or that they've even aged for you. But mostly rosés, fresh, ready to drink, recent vintage.
You know, now all I smell is strawberry and taste is strawberry.
Power of suggestion. Although I do think it's there. I do.
It took me like 40 minutes, but you know, I did.
You got there. It's about the journey, you know, progress, not perfection.
Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, I'm trying hard.
You're doing great.
I just know that these are both like insanely good.
Well, thank you. I was, as you can tell, very excited to talk about them. So thanks for letting me, you know, just spout out random wine facts and, you know, engage in this fun conversation, because this is, you know, this is what I love to do.
Well, so before you go,
Yes.
we have to do you have anything in your glass? Anything?
I kind of wanted another splash of rosé.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Let's do a little splash there.
I'm gonna drink that Pinot Noir with dinner.
That's what I'm gonna do too.
Yep.
I want to get I want to do a thing, everyone at home that's watching. So we're gonna do a little like toast, like together.
Oh, I love this.
So we'll do a little toast.
Okay.
Everyone together. So you guys that are at home and are also you've also got a glass in your hand. We gotta have a little cheers, a virtual cheers together.
I love this.
So, and if you want, take a little picture of it and send it to me so I can see them later when we do our little cheers. So, cheers.
Cheers.
So much fun.
So much fun, always.
Yeah.
Mm. Yum. And I think I get to see you next week.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
All right. I'm excited. We'll have to choose wines.
We got to figure out what we're having so that we can like, because it's so cool because this is really the first time that we've
People have
had
been tasting with us.
Yeah, people at home that were having the same wines as us. That's so neat. That's really cool. So yeah, awesome.
All right, well, we'll do that. We'll send some texts. We'll figure it out.
All right, cool.
All right. Well, so fun as always. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks for all the great questions. I mean, I feel like
we have like so many more questions, but maybe we can like do them next week because there's more questions that have been coming in, but yeah.
Next week. All right. Well, have a great weekend and I'll see you next week, and thanks again.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. So now I think, let me see what, she's amazing. The knowledge is insane. Like insane. Tiffany, how good are the wines that we are having tonight, right? Isn't that crazy? I love it that we've got Tiffany here who's having the same wines as me tonight. That's really neat. So I will hang with you guys, of course, for a bit more, as we have always made it our tradition now on Wine Wednesday. And I see that there's so many more questions that actually came in for Vanessa. So I'm gonna have to go through the, if you had a question and I didn't see it, can you write it actually either right now or send it to me in my Instagram DMs so that we can get them answered next week. So, Vanessa and I can have a chat, and kind of what I like to do is sort of shape our show based on what you guys want to know. So, okay, so if you have some questions, I would love if you could send them to me. So we can do that. Tiffany, right? The rosé, I love it too. Like way more than you, yeah. I love the rosé way more than I thought I would too. It's insane. The Pinot I knew I was gonna like, but the Pinot exceeded my expectations, like, right? Insane. Oh, look at this. Thank you, Tiffany. So, okay. And so Tiffany, you know what? I will talk to Vanessa tomorrow so we can figure out what we are going to have, because I am as far as shipment times too, I don't know if we could line it up for next week. That's the other thing we got to figure out. If we could line up our shipment times for next week, or if we make it like in 2 weeks that everyone has the wine that they want and we're all going to taste at the same time, let me figure that out. Yeah, let me figure that out and we can. Okay, so Tiffany, you got yours in 2 days. Amber, you want to know? Okay. You got yours in 2 days. My last Wine Access shipment actually came in pretty much like, I would say a little more than 2 days. I think, Tiffany, I think you're closer to where they're shipping out of in Napa there. But mine came like probably 3-4 days. So they are pretty quick. So yeah, they're real quick actually with them. Yeah. You place an order and it'll be there Saturday? Wow. Okay. See, that's really cool. Does Wine Access deliver to the UK? I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure about that. I could check the website, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, which one did I like better? Is that the question? I gotta see. I have to see. The one I liked better. You know what? It's not like they're both amazing, but the Pinot Noir is kind of an exceptional it's exceptional. Okay. It's really exceptional. So what do you want to, should we go out? Should I take but you know what I'm saying? I think the Rosé is more of a patio wine. If you know what I mean. McBeam, here's the link. Let me send it to you right now. Yeah, we're gonna go out on the balcony. It's just which one are we taking to the balcony? You know what I mean? Because the Rosé is like your balcony wine, I feel like, because it's like, you know, it's the one that it's the summer day, you're out, the sun is out, you got that Rosé, you know what I mean? Here's what I'll do. I think what I'm gonna do is we're gonna take a little sip here, okay? Just so I can have this in my brain, okay? And then, okay, I just wanna do something, okay? Just like okay, that's it. And then we will take the Rosé out, okay? That Pinot's insane. Okay, totally insane. Like I can't. Yeah, totally insane. Alrighty, so I'll take some Rosé. We'll take it outside, but I got to get a. Okay. Here's what we'll do, guys. You talk amongst yourselves for a minute or two. And I am going to use the restroom, and then we'll head out onto the balcony and we will chat. All right. So you guys talk. You're already talking amongst yourselves, which is brilliant, you know. So you keep that going, and I will be right back. So we're going to take the Rosé to the balcony. All right. Okay. All right. I'll be right back. All right, I'm coming back. Sorry, guys. I know that took a while, but I'm back. Hi. How's everything been going? What did I miss? That is the question. Did I miss anything? I'm scrolling back. Okay, here's the deal. Hands are all good, all clean. Okay, let's get some rosé in the glass and we'll head on out. Let's go. All right. You know what? I want to just chill this a little bit while I gotta save the Pinot for dinner. Save the Pinot for dinner. All right. Okay. So you guys, yeah, we're saving that Pinot for dinner because it's gonna be awesome. Oh, okay, I can do this. I'm afraid of the sun. Oh, you know what? I'm afraid of the sun today because we're getting to that time of the year now where we are like, this is longest day of the year kind of deal. I saw a question about a wine stopper. Did you, the wine vacuum that I like? It would be this, this one from OXO. Highly recommend this one. Okay. Okay, now let's hit up. Gorgeous weather here today. Okay. Put the glass down there. Stay there, stay there, stay there. Okay. Shut the door. There we go. Great. So, there we go. Hi guys. Well, that's not the best view. Okay. So I've got the rosé here, and it is, man, that is good stuff. The sun, so where I face, the sun goes crazy from like 3 p.m. till the end of the day. So it's, yeah. Not real pants, no. Is anyone actually wearing real pants during all this? I hope not. No, Dee Dee. Shauna, the sun's bright in your window too. It's awesome. Janelle, you made the gray stuff? Did you make the Disney recipe that they put out? Sorry, Melody. I knew I saw your question. And I hope that was a good answer. Okay. That's the one. I look so dressed up. Aaron, you got your first wine access? Yes! Aaron, what'd you get? What was in your wine access shipment? Inspired by me? Yeah, I love that. What was in your shipment? Because I got to get a new shipment. Tiffany, is this not the perfect kind of balcony, patio, backyard kind of wine, right? This is, yeah. You want a Patreon Zoom again, Didi? Yeah, we can do that. We had a great time on my Patreon. We did a Zoom last month with my live stream patrons, and that was a lot of fun. Oh, thanks, Zara. Yeah, we do have some nice colors today, don't we? Is this like, do we need we need like a GIF. This be the perfect GIF, right? Where I'm just like swirling. I do match the wine. It's good. Yeah. Yeah, Tiffany, right? This is really the kind of wine you do want to have at your barbecue. It's really cool. It's really cool. I think that was there not grapefruit in this? You tell me, Tiffany, because I was so sure. that was the funniest part when Vanessa and I did that. I think we should do that every week now, where we say what it tastes like, and I get it completely wrong. But like, is there not any sort of grapefruit, like pink grapefruit in this? Samantha, should you have rosé or Pinot Noir? Oh, from Korea. Oh, Samantha. Well, it depends what are you eating tonight? What are you eating? This color is insane. Such a light color. Okay, so you think there is some citrus in this? Yeah. Yeah. Liz, why do we think that we're gonna stop doing the live videos? I want to keep the live videos going even after all this. Do you have to go? I mean, is it you that has to go back to work and stuff? Rubber hose, right? On some, yeah, Aaron, you know. The things that people use to describe the smells of wine are really interesting. You get things like that, rubber hose. And there's like tar, you know. 1 year wedding anniversary cake to eat with it. Oh yeah, go rosé. Yeah, go rosé. And congratulations, cheers to you guys 1 year anniversary. That's awesome. That's awesome. Melissa, you want to order ahead? Okay. To get the same wine. Okay. Okay. These are things we're going to really try to do going forward. Because it's been really cool how, you know, we actually have people watching that are having what I'm having. Deanna, good night. Oh, Deanna, what? You're not having wine tonight? What is this? You forgot what day it was? Can we get a... So we have a double anniversary tonight? So we got first anniversary Samantha. Tiffany just celebrated 5 years. Wonderful. Maddie, what wine club box? Five days ago, Tiffany, it still counts, you know what I mean? Disney Dame just celebrated 10 years? Wow, look at this. Cheers to you all. It's awesome. The Wine Access Wine Club. I haven't done the wine club on Wine Access. I've just been, I've been selecting individual wines, but the wine club on Wine Access is probably amazing because then it just takes the work out of you having to choose, and you know what I mean? So if you're gonna do a wine club, it would be them. Let's just say that. So yeah. Do you need the link? I can give it to you now. There we go. Liz, what do you recommend with pasta? Yeah, I would say if you have an Italian red wine, then there's your first choice. If not, then any, any red. Do you have a red at home? A red blend of something? Yeah. Annabelle celebrated in March 19 years. Woo! I love this. Tiffany, yeah, this is so many good ones. Okay, so Wine Access exceeded your expectations. Yeah, see, I know it exceeded your expectations, Tiffany. Yeah, me too. It's definitely the best wine website I've ever been part of. And I've been part of a lot of them. But without, like, I wouldn't talk about it as much as I do if it wasn't as good as I think it is. Okay. So and I think that you can probably see it on my face when I try these things, how much I actually like it. Yeah, so Anna, like I've tried, I've actually tried a bunch of other wine club sites. There's a lot of them. They all start with like wine awesomeness or inside or like this is definitely the best one I've ever tried. Yeah. Not even close. What is considered an Italian wine, Shauna? If it's made in Italy. That's it. Yeah. Made in Italy. Sorry for the screaming child, but you know. I don't know what's going on. Make It Blue's birthday's almost. Oh, cool. Oh, miniature Missy. We got. Oh, I love it. Erin, you got Joffrey's after I did the Joffrey's tasting? I am an influencer. Look at me. Oh man, that's amazing. Bye, Liz. Oh gosh. Ooh, okay, Erica, good question. Okay. Okay, Erica, let me tell you, I'm going to give you an answer to your question in a second, but Maddie, I want to tell you, so the name of the rosé I'm currently having is Trient. Let me type it so you can get the spelling correct. There it is. There you go. And also, Tiffany just gave a great answer to some types of Italian wines there. Tiffany's your Italian wine expert, by the way. Okay, Erica, how do you know what is a good glass of wine to order in a restaurant when they have a huge wine list? Right. I don't want to say the price, but also I do because it does have a lot to do with don't pick the cheapest one in a restaurant. Don't pick the cheapest one in a restaurant. That is the best advice that I can give to you. Because if you do pick the cheapest one, you will get what you paid for. And when you go to a restaurant, you have wine, it is marked up a lot. The price is way higher. It is. But that's how restaurants make their money. So in a way, you're also supporting restaurants when you have wine. But there's your simplest answer. Don't pick the cheapest. If you can't afford the most expensive one, pick something in the middle. If it is a Cabernet Sauvignon, then and if you want a cab and it's a cheap cab, I would probably not. Could maybe get away with a blend that is a better call for you in a restaurant if it's on the lower end. So yeah, Pete is your birthday present. I love it. The Pinot is 65. Yeah. Okay. So the Pinot is very expensive. It's worth, I mean, like that, there's a reason that Pinot is so expensive, and it is because it, did you see when I had the sip? Did you see I needed to take a moment? That's how good it is. Yeah. Yes, Matthew, great. Yes, ask the server. You can always ask your server. Never feel ashamed that you're not like knowledgeable enough about the wines. Like, especially if you're in a nice restaurant, always ask your server, like, can you tell me a little bit more about this wine? Do you recommend a certain wine to go with what I'm having tonight? And usually they're going to give you the right answer. That is, if they give you the answer that's like, you know, like usually they're going to be knowledgeable if you're in a nice place, and they will want to help you. High five, Zara. You ordered from Wine Access for the first time. I love this. It's awesome. Oh, man. Good work. Good work. You'll have to tell me what your order was. Right, there was no way I was coming back to Earth after that sip of the Pinot. That's how good it, yeah. That's how good it is. I mean, goodness gracious. Like, this is amazing. This is amazing. But when you try the Pinot, do you guys have any questions? Oh, did anyone send me, I guess I could check. It's not like I can't check, but did anyone send me a question for, wait, I had a Mariah Carey hand going on when I took the sip of the wine. That's amazing. Did anyone send any questions to me for Vanessa for next week? And does anyone have any questions for Vanessa for next week? That's what I would love to know. Where do I get my wine glasses? Ooh, that's actually a really good question, Samantha. I don't even remember where I got these. Samantha, you know what? Send me that. Maddie, send me that question about aeration also, so we can do that. But the wine glass question is a really good one. How long does an old bottle need to breathe, Sean? Great question. See, these are like something for a first-time drinker, Alyssa. Put your wine glasses in the dishwasher to hand one. Depends on the day, Matthew. For me. If I'm tired, I just throw it in the dishwasher. These are not expensive wine glasses. I watched a video that George from Wine Bar George did about wine glasses, and I listened to what he said, and he liked thinner glasses. So I actually would love to talk to Vanessa about that. Can you do a segment on storing wine, especially if you don't have a wine fridge? Yeah, see, that's great, T. Fenton. Okay, these are such good questions. I love this. Okay, this is great. Alicia, turning 21 so soon. White wine recommended. You know, go Pinot Grigio. Get an Italian white. That's what I would say. Tiffany, I would see. I'm. That's one of the things that I'm going to ask Vanessa. That's like on my list to ask Vanessa. Where to go in Napa? Her actual Napa winery recommendations. Because you know, when I go, my next trip to Napa, will probably be based on whatever she tells me to do. Right? Like, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, all of the wines that, exactly. So Tiffany, yeah, you got to ask the master of wine. I go where she says, right. All the wines that we've been having from Wine Access are all recommendations from her. And then there's another person at Wine Access that I was looking at too. So Yeah. They're just brilliant there. It's crazy how smart they are with them. Yeah. Especially in things like this too. Like this rosé for 17. Tiffany, you based all your purchases on on what she recommended? And they've been all good? Yeah. You want to see a Cheesy Pop recommendation list on Cheesy Pop recommendation list of what, like my favorite wines ever or wine access wines? Frozen Mickey cubes. What happened here? We got ice cube conversation? Ice cubes in wine? I wouldn't do it myself. If you need to chill a red quickly, like just pop it in the fridge for a few. So my favorite wines ever. This is a very interesting thing to think about. Oh man. I'd have to think, I got to think long and hard about this, but I don't think I'm as much of a wine geek as Vanessa, obviously, but I am a wine geek and I do keep track of the wines that I have and how I felt about them. So I do actually have answers. So I can look back on my records. Red over white for me always. Shauna, you're an hour away from Napa and you haven't been? When everything opens again, you gotta go. Go. You're just going. Bye, Josie. Matthew, I actually do know the grossest wine I've ever tasted. It was I had this wine in Florida once that tasted like sugar, and I was like, I can't believe I'm actually drinking this. This is disgusting. I don't remember the name, but like I just remember the feeling, because wine transports you to that feeling and the place that you had it, and I just was like, this is disgusting. Yeah. I only have a sip of this left. Okay, so I have to. It was not at Disney. No, not Disney. But it was in Florida. So. All right. It was Stella Rosa, right? Yeah, that kid. All right, guys. I'm gonna head out here in just a couple minutes because I got to eat dinner. Because I really want to have the Pinot Noir that's just sitting out on my table right now, waiting for me. Right, Tiffany? Tiffany's over there. She's enjoying her Pinot Noir. Like, oh no, Jeanette, don't worry. Disney does serve some bad wine. You can get bad wine at Disney. It's happened. Trust me. Tiffany's finishing the bottle of Pinot. Oh man, I'm jealous. All right, it's waiting for me. Okay. Thank you so much, Kira. Do I know if D23 will be doing anything this year? I don't know, because they always go on the odd years. Anyway, so this wouldn't be a year for them. Favorite alcohol after wine? Oh gosh, you know, lately it's been bourbon, but it wasn't always the case. But lately it's been bourbon whiskey. Thank you, Anna. Congrats on 19 years, by the way, Anna B. Every time you search for Taylor Swift on your Apple Music, my Christmas song comes up? That's pretty cool, man. I love that. All right. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to head out. Wait, one more sip. Cheers to you all. If you have any more questions, please do send them to me on my Instagram so we can get those to Vanessa for next week. Thank you so much, guys. If you need that link again, I'm going to give it to you right here. Thank you, Tiffany. I really appreciate it. Crazy beginning of the week. I hope it gets better. Really do. This was awesome. There's the link again. Cheers, guys. If you sent me any pictures, tag me in them on Instagram of us cheersing. I could cheers right now for you again if you missed it earlier. Cheers. And thank you. Thanks to you all. Have a great, great night. So glad you enjoyed those wines, Tiffany, especially. It's really cool. Thanks, guys. Bye, everyone. Cheers. I'm inside the glass. Bye.